How to handle forgetting your date's name. Forgetting your date's name can be an awkward experience, especially if you're trying to make a good first impression. It's more common than you might think. Perhaps nerves got the better of you, or you were introduced briefly in a noisy environment. The key is to handle the situation gracefully and with humor, so it doesn't ruin the vibe. Here are several strategies you can employ to recover without making it too obvious or embarrassing. 1. Play it cool and avoid panic. The first thing to do is stay calm. People notice your body language, so appearing flustered or awkward can make things worse. Even if you've completely blanked on their name, remember that it's not a catastrophic mistake. If you play it off confidently, there's a good chance your date won't even realize you've forgotten. 2. Use a nickname or term of endearment. An easy way to avoid the issue is by using a friendly nickname or a light term of endearment. Something like buddy, pal, you, or even a playful "you're amazing" can buy you some time without sounding too formal. If the chemistry feels right, you can try something charming like "hey, gorgeous" or "you're such fun." Just be cautious with how intimate or familiar you get. Reading the vibe is essential. 3. Ask them to remind you subtly. If the night progresses and you still haven't remembered, you can try asking for their name in a subtle way. Instead of directly saying, "I forgot your name," you could say something like, "What was your full name again? I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly." This approach makes it sound like you're being attentive rather than forgetful. Alternatively, you could say, "I'm terrible with names. I didn't catch it properly the first time, can you remind me?" Owning up to forgetting can be refreshing if done with humor. A lighthearted confession usually comes across as honest, and most people appreciate that. 4. Get creative and introduce a friend. A classic trick to recall someone's name is to involve a third person. If you're on a date in a public setting, you could introduce your date to a friend, server, or even someone else nearby. For example, "Oh, by the way, this is my friend," insert your friend's name. Then, pause and let your date fill in their own name during the introduction. It's a smooth, indirect way to recover without anyone feeling uncomfortable. 5. Check social media or mutual contacts. In today's digital world, there's a good chance you've connected on social media or met through a dating app. If your phone is within reach, you might be able to sneak a quick glance at their profile or messages to jog your memory. However, use this approach with caution. It's only helpful if you can discreetly check your phone without being rude or obvious. 6. Turn it into a fun icebreaker. You could also embrace the situation and turn it into a humorous moment. Try saying something like, "I have to admit, I'm really nervous, and for some reason, my brain is not cooperating. Could you remind me of your name?" The honesty and vulnerability can actually make you more relatable, and it might even help break the ice. Most people have experienced similar moments and will understand. 7. Listen for context clues. As the conversation progresses, listen carefully for any context clues that might give away their name. They might mention a hobby, friend, or story that includes their own name in it. You can also subtly guide the conversation towards topics where they might naturally introduce themselves again, like asking how they prefer to be addressed or if they have any funny stories about their name. 8. Use humor to deflect. Humor can diffuse many awkward situations, and forgetting a name is no exception. A lighthearted joke can shift the focus away from the mistake while keeping things fun. You could say something like, "I was so distracted by your eyes, I totally spaced on your name." Complimenting them while acknowledging the slip makes the moment playful rather than awkward. 9. Make a mental note for next time. If your date does eventually remind you of their name, take an extra moment to commit it to memory. Repeating it a few times in your mind or associating it with something familiar can help it stick. For example, if their name is Rachel, you could think of a famous Rachel from pop culture to cement the connection. This extra effort ensures you won't find yourself in the same situation again. 10. Don't let it ruin the date. Finally, don't let the incident define the entire evening. Forgetting someone's name happens to everyone, and it's not the end of the world. As long as you remain calm and keep the conversation flowing, you'll still have a chance to build a meaningful connection. Remember, dates are about enjoying each other's company, not perfection. In summary, forgetting your date's name might feel embarrassing in the moment, but it's entirely recoverable with a bit of charm, humor, and strategy. Whether you choose to use a nickname, introduce a friend, or simply own up to it, the key is to stay relaxed and not overthink it. The more you focus on creating a fun and memorable experience, the less your date will care about a minor slip-up.